Okay, whatever's happening to my hair is none of your business. Okay, so today's video is going to be a little bit of an addition to last video on the maladaptive defense mechanisms. It's going to be a little bit more frustrated because I am frustrated with the state of the world, obviously, with continuous suffering and with the fact that even when we realize what's happening in the world, when we realize what the core issues are, when we realize that capitalism is at the heart of every single problem that we currently experience, still we are unable to do much, apparently. So this is going to be one of those videos where I just air out a lot of my frustrations and I kind of rant and rave. So if this is not your thing, goodbye. And just as I shared in the previous video, I'm so frustrated with the fact that we think that we are somehow immune to the capitalist ideology. And I'm not even talking about propaganda, I'm talking about ideology. The thing is, these are unconscious principles that we start embodying because when we're children, we don't understand anything, right? So we adapt to our environments in the way that helps us survive, in the ways that help us feel safe. So we're not going to be able to be reflective as children. It is not normal for children to be deeply reflective. So this is why we have to address these issues. This is why we have to address these issues when we grow up. And when we grow up, we don't want to let go of all these comfortable narratives, of all these concepts that usually go back to religions. We don't want to feel bad about ourselves. We don't want to be bad. But it doesn't really matter what you feel about yourself. It doesn't really matter if you appear good or bad. What matters is what you do with the time and resources that are given to you by mere luck. So we have to meet ourselves where we are, and we have to extend to ourselves the same grace that we extend to the rest of the people. And oftentimes we don't. I see this so often in leftist communities where people are so kind to all the people who are not yet comrades, who have not yet awakened to the realities of capitalism, but then they fail to be patient with each other. Then they fail to actually extend the same grace towards comrades. And this is something that is really going to hinder our progress. So we owe it to ourselves, to our comrades, to the rest of the population, to the earth itself, to address those issues of how we are also fragmented, how we also use maladaptive defense mechanisms. And yes, we can overcome parts of these journeys. We can overcome some of this fragmentation. Of course, it is necessary to at least try and overcome some of these fragments individually. And in smaller collectives, you can try and address these issues as well. But many of these journeys begin with the admission. They begin with you admitting to yourself that, oh well, during this journey, I might actually find out that I'm not as good of a person as I thought I was. And be fine with it. You don't have to punish yourself for thought crimes. You don't have to brood over the fact that maybe you thought something bad about somebody. Maybe you thought it was their own fault. You don't have to do that. You can process these emotions, give them space, give them time, listen to the communication that your body was trying to give you for some time. Understand where these emotions can be stemming from, usually from childhood, from improper parenting, etc., etc. And then come up with some kind of plan of action. Come up with a plan of action where you're going to help yourself. Because when you help yourself, you help your community. That doesn't mean you should be egotistical and just sit there and brood over your own trauma all day long and cry to everyone about how, oh, look at me, I was traumatized. Look at the capitalist conditions, they're so traumatizing. Of course, it's all true, but we don't really have time to sit and brood over this collectively every single day. Sometimes, maybe once a week, we can have those brooding meetings where we sit down and just cry about our trauma. And I'm not trying to diminish anybody's trauma, and I'm not trying to say that this work is not important. It is just that I'm venting my frustrations because there's so many people who don't even admit to themselves that they need to do this work. They deny it. They're in such deep denial. They're like, I'm not fragmented. I'm fine. I'm perfectly rational. And then these people go on and quote Marx And they think that somehow they are immune to everything that's happening around them. No, you're not. You're one of the people. You and I, we're all in it together, whether we like it or not, whether we admit to it or not. We are all affected. So we all have to take an active role. We have to fight back for this agency. We have to become subjects that are conscious. These unconscious biases need to be uncovered. We need to seek out the root of them sometimes. Sometimes we don't even care, whatever. It doesn't really matter where you acquire this piece of chauvinist trash in your mind. It doesn't matter as long as you don't act upon it and as long as you address these emotions. They dissipate. They go away on their own. You don't have to resolve them. You don't have to do rituals to make them go away. They just come and go. They're like the weather. You don't come out into the storm and tell the storm to stop. It's going to pass on its own. But if you ignore the storm and you come out into the storm and start doing whatever business, you're going to be affected by the storm, and it's going to be unpredictable. Same goes with your emotional states. If you do not observe your patterns, if you don't learn to observe your emotional patterns, if you don't study them, and if you don't see the rhyme and reason behind them or a pattern behind them, then you're going to be affected in a way that's going to be unpredictable. So you want to predict those patterns. You want to understand how you're going to act in different scenarios and how it is you can help yourself better. And when you do this, you're going to be able to do this to others. When you do this to yourself, then you will be able to kind of transfer this knowledge to everyone else. This is normal. This should be a part of everybody's communal practices. This is not some kind of breakthrough information. We don't need more evidence to prove this to be true, because it is true. It is true. It's very simple. We differ from animals because we don't have instincts anymore. Instead, we have social consciousness. Instead, we have practices that we have been partaking in culturally for thousands of years. We have that instead of instincts, and this can be changed. We can retrain ourselves. Call it what you will. Some people call it deprogramming, rewiring, whatever. I don't care what you call it. Taking out the trash. As long as you do it, you should be good. And if you do it communally, that's even better. And again, these are all the remnants of monotheistic religious practices that have been a tool of capitalist ideology for at least 4 centuries or more. And they embed into us these beliefs that we have to be good in order to live. We have to be blessed in order to live. That we have to deserve some kind of grace from the outside. But that is all lies. These are lies. They have not been serving us for more than 400 years. They are they're poisoning our minds, they're poisoning our relationships. And yes, of course, not everybody has been affected by Judeo-Christian beliefs, but many other monotheistic beliefs are pretty similar. Again, because they have been shaped by the economic production. Under capitalism, every single belief system is going to serve the purposes of capitalism. In order to develop new belief systems, we need to overcome capitalism. Otherwise, it's all going to just be doing the same stuff over and over and over again. Otherwise, it's all going to be a fruitless fight. We cannot just fight a culture war. We have to win the economic war, the war for power as well. And power is resources, access to the means of production, which must be collective once and for all. Okay, so that's it for my rant. I hope you have a great day today. Consider supporting me on Patreon. Do take care of yourself and your community first. Subscribe to me on all the other social medias, even though I don't do much there. And I'll talk to you sometime later.